Think we're in. You are live, gentlemen.
Hey man, you fought a stupid for a wise man. For know it all like yourself, you should have known better, should have covered our tracks. Hey man, you fought a stupid for a wise man. Go ahead and try me, go ahead and try me, go ahead and try me, go ahead and try me.
Three boys, double bass, guitar.
Hello.
Yo, what's
Right.
happening?
Welcome back to Don't Trip. It's been a while, but we're back. It was a hiatus just because I done my ACL. But now I'm back. No, I didn't actually. I'm joking. But I'm your host, JR. This is for people that have never listened to this before. This is a podcast with grown people, apart from Cairo, because he's a young one. Grown people taking with grown opinions. All right. He doesn't know who Kanchelskis is, and then and we're gonna talk about grown opinions. Sometimes we argue, but it sounds like argument. But really, we're debating just really loudly and with our facial ideas. But I'm your host, JR, and we'll go on to Killer K, Cairo. Big up yourself.
Yo. Big up.
Cool, Tiny.
Yeah, but Dad, don't trip.
Cool, and Trimzini.
What's happening? What's happening? Salute. Hope everyone's had a good week. What's good?
Brilliant. Trim. I just realized Trimzini sounds like he's Italian. He's not Italian, and he's not.
I ain't.
No, he's not Italian. Trimzini. That's like he's
Coulda-
country thinking he's a
You
Alright.
could have
Yeah,
fooled me.
it's a smoke today, yeah.
striker. Anyway, top shooter. We're gonna go through what our subjects are today. So first of all, we're gonna do last week's catch up, so a roundup of the results from last week. Cool. So we'll start off with Monday Night Football, which was a London derby between Fulham and Brentford, which ended 2-1 to Fulham. And then we'll go on to the weekend, which was another London derby between Crystal Palace and Fulham. Again, Crystal Palace lost. Shock, 2-0 to Fulham. We had an exciting game of West Ham and Everton of 0-0. Got your money's worth there. Then you had Wolverhampton Wanderers against Southampton. They won 2-0. They got one of their first wins of the season, I think. But I think they deserve it because they are a good side. Then we had Brentford. They won 3-2. Quite an exciting game between Bournemouth, that informed team that recently beat Man City, which we'll come on to. And talking of Man City, they played against Brighton and they lost. They lost 2-1. I think they've truly been humbled. And then Liverpool played against Aston Villa, which was 2-0 at home. Which Trimzini, the Italian striker, must be very happy about. And then Nottingham
I'm
Forest.
ecstatic.
Yes, Nottingham
I tried
Forest.
to kiss the bird, but that's something else.
Yeah. Don't go around kissing birds. So Nottingham Forest played against Newcastle, and they lost 3-1, which was a bit of a shock. But it was a good and exciting game, even though they scored first. Tottenham Forest.
Yeah,
Tottenham
Tottenham
it's a
in
new
the Forest.
team to the Premier League. They are very much in the woods at the moment because they lost to Ipswich 2-1. All right.
Shame.
Ipswich first win in about
Well done,
13
Ipswich.
plus years. So that says how much bottlers Tottenham are. Man United with the continuing their form, beating Leicester 3-0 at home. And then there was an exciting game between Chelsea and Arsenal, which ended 1-1. All right. I don't know why all of a sudden you have a cough. But yeah, so it's Chelsea 1-1, and that brings the wrap up to the results. Now, before we go to the next topic, I think it makes sense to address the importance of that game. I think we'll move to a couple of other games, but Chelsea versus Arsenal. Now, I'm a resident Chelsea fan on the call. Iro, what were your thoughts on that game?
I was very excited for this game. Very, probably more than I have been in a long time. Arsenal haven't been in the best of form. Chelsea have picked up their form. I think it was an even contest that could have gone either way. Although I don't tell my friends that. But I think it could have gone either way. But to be fair, it was a very, very feisty game. The players were definitely up for it. And it was a proper game of football where it kind of brought me back to the older years where teams are actually fighting against each other. Like, they don't like these, no, we don't like you. We want to win this game. Unfortunately, it ended in a draw because then obviously it doesn't really swing either way. But a very good game, I think. Both teams played well-ish. Yeah, it could have gone either way, but I think our point was quite fair, to be fair.
Cool. Neutrals, what did you think of that game?
Tiny can go first.
Deflected.
No, it was
100%.
all right, man. Arsenal was happy to see Odegaard back. He got the assist, didn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, Arsenal was happy about that. There's a good goal from Chelsea as well. A bit slack on marking because he just, I don't know, the floodgates open. He just strolled through, shot at the edge of the box. But on the whole, good game. I would have preferred someone to lose, drop some points. Would have been better for United, but yeah, draw's fair. What's it like? United's worst season, and we're only like 4 points behind you lot. So yeah, I'll take that.
That's enough of talking about Man United. It's not about Man United. Carry on, Mr. Trenzini. Grazie mille.
I was very impressed with Chelsea. I was happy with how they played. I think that the Pedro the guy Neto, sorry, he killed it, bruv. He's such a baller. Just he's actually one of their standout players at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely I enjoyed the game as a neutral because obviously I didn't want Chelsea are doing their thing, but I was pleasantly when I saw the result and I thought to myself, well, they haven't actually, like, if Arsenal had got the 3 points, obviously they'd be a lot closer than they were. Arsenal still played very well, but the game was very close, and there was a lot of fans from the north side of London. They mentioned about not being actually worried about what was going to happen. They were quite comfortable and thought that it was going to be an easier game than it was. I think that they thought, Odegaard's back, so all of the solutions, everything could be sorted. But 1-1, fair. I don't know. Do you think that Arsenal? Do you think that any team played better than the other? That's the JR.
So personally, I thought it was a very even game. I think like Chelsea were very up for it. Like they consistently stayed in the game, and I think like Arsenal are a kind of team that if you let them play, then it'd just be a long day for you. And Chelsea battled really well. I think like their players and tactically were perfect. I think Arsenal had too many players that individuals that didn't show up for different reasons. Like, Declan Rice wasn't fit, but he played and he came off. Ben White, now we find out that he's undergone an operation because he's been battling with a certain kind of unfitness. And Martinelli was really wasteful. He did score, all right, and I respect Martinelli for keep going because he kept going. And a lot of players, what they have is when they get in their head, they stop and then they can't keep going. But he
Really?
Score. So I respect that. But against a team like Chelsea, who's in good form, like they're improving as a team, you have to take those chances. You take them in the first half, you take them in the first 15 minutes. It changes the wave of a game. Like it massively changes the wave of a game. So we can't keep on affording that. And then I won't go too long on it, but Trossard has been not the Trossard from last season, or even from the first few games of the season. He's been missing key chances and key moments. Now, the chance we got in the very final kick of the game, we'll never know if it was offside, but he doesn't know if it's offside or not. He has to finish that, and he misses it completely. And those make a difference, especially when we look at the table now, right? Because Man City, which we're going to move on to, right? They're messing up, right? What's it? They lost 4 in a row in all competitions.
Yeah.
All competitions, right? It left the league wide open, but we've actually just given it, handed it on a plate to Liverpool in many aspects. But it is a long season. But what we know is that when you get that kind of lead and that kind of difference, it's very difficult for top teams like Liverpool to drop that many points, which will give you a chance to get ahead of them.
Do you think that it was a job well done against Cole Palmer?
To be honest,
Because he's
about Cole Palmer, and I don't want to make this about Cole Palmer, but Cole Palmer.
It's always about Cole Palmer.
It doesn't feel. You're right. Switch the heating on. For me, I feel like he's a player in the Premier League, especially this season. Like he's just against the top 6, the traditional top 6. Everyone keeps him relatively quiet. And I feel that he needs to get the next level pedigree. He needs to kind of show up in those big moments because he's got the ability. Like the way
all day.
Like I'm not questioning his ability. Is how do you show up in those moments, right? And I think that's the only thing I would say about Cole Palmer. I don't want to make it about Cole Palmer.
No, keep it
Is it on him though? Is it on him or is it a systematic thing? Because I can imagine that Arsenal prepared all week to make sure that he wasn't able to touch the ball. There was a graphic that said in the last 15 minutes he touched the ball twice. So Arsenal made sure to funnel the ball away from him at every single opportunity. So when the ball was on the other side, Saka was standing in front of him. Then when it was on the other side, Partey was making sure that he didn't receive the ball. So is it a thing where it's on Cole Palmer to show up, or is he maybe being too disciplined because he's not getting touches on the ball because he's trying to do the right thing? Or is it a Chelsea problem or a Maresca problem? Like, can we do more to get him on the ball? Because Man United did the same, Liverpool did the same, and these are the games that we're talking about here. And I didn't think that Cole Palmer had a great game against Arsenal anyway. Like the touches that he had on the ball was a bit looser than what we expect from him. Whereas in the other games, he was a bit more on it, but it just didn't fall his way. So maybe then it's not his problem because he didn't get the touches, but can Chelsea find a new way of getting him on the ball? Because teams are going to start to do that because they don't want him involved.
Well, put it like this, right? And I think that the next, before we go into City, I'll just kind of wrap up my thoughts on Cole Palmer. I think what is evident, right, is to be labelled as a top player, you need to score against top teams. And even though every single game, Saka has that pressure on it, every single game, Salah has that pressure on it, and every single game, the key players in the games will be Bruno de Fernandes. They'll try to mark him or do those things. They always show up, right, in those moments and create something, right? Like that is just the pressure that's on his shoulders because you are that guy. There's always. So.
But don't we have to remember that he's still pretty young as well.
This is his,
I'm
this is
not
his
saying-
second season of football.
I'm not saying that like I'm saying to him like, you know, he's dead. Where was he in these games?
No.
I'm saying the next level for him is to show up in these games, right? Because that pressure will be put on any player who scores that amount of goals, that player who plays for a top 6 team. Doesn't matter who you are, that pressure will be on you there, right? So it's not specifically to Cole Palmer, but what it is that because you're so, oh my days, you've done this, they'll be like, okay, cool. Like Foden as an example, right? Foden is still young. We forget all the stuff he's won, right? He's the young player of the season, Champions League, all this shit. He's still very young. But every time he touches the ball, they expect him to do something. And if he doesn't do it, they're like, where were you today? Right?
Yeah, he didn't show up and that.
Yeah. So now Cole Palmer has that on him because he's done it so many times. He's
on the radar.
Yeah.
He's on the radar.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, and obviously, you know, it was a good game and Arsenal did well. As far as nullifying Cole Palmer, but where are we at? Where are we at with the form in the actual Prem? Where are we at? Where are we at with that? Is it peak times right now, or are you lot good right now? What are you telling me?
Personally, I feel like it's very difficult because like. Once you lose key players, you know, or key players are out of form, so they can be fit, but if they're out of form, then you need.
Who's out at the moment? Who's out at the moment? Who's out at the moment? Who's injured at the moment?
So obviously we just got Odegaard back, but he's not injured. So Ben White is out now. Tomiyasu's out. Calafiore is out. Saka, he's nursing an injury. I don't know how bad it's going to be.
He will be out. It seemed like he pulled his groin on the weekend, didn't it?
Exactly, which has pulled him out of the England team. So when we talk about internationals, we'll refer to it. And there was one more person. I can't remember off the top of my head. But in that game, I'm talking about for the most recent game. But I'm talking about in the last 4 games, we're talking about our form, like. Gabriel has had to come off injured. Timber has had to come off because he was just too tired. Saka's come back or not being available. Calafiore got injured. So it's those kind of moments where actually the players that at the time before they got injured are playing really well. And now we're like, oh, shit. So this is where when we spoke about on the first episode, I think you said, Trimzini, about this is going to be the year of the squad, right? And that means 2 things. That means can you keep your best players fit? But also, if they're not fit, do you have enough quality to replace them
in your squad? Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that we do, but I think.
But you don't have another. If sorry to interject, but if anything was to happen or there was a reoccurrence with the situation with Odegaard, you're pretty much stuck, just similar to City with
Rodri.
Rodri.
Yeah, and I think that makes a difference, right? It's not that the players aren't the quality, but they're difference makers, right? So it's like if you don't have Cole Palmer, you have Joao Felix, you have Neto, but they're not the difference makers that in those key moments they're going to pick up the ball and they're going to do magic, you know? Even
Joao Felix ain't going to do that.
United, like as much as people moan it. Pardon?
I said João Felix
you
is
say?
not one of those players that can do that.
We're the worst team for that example because we got a whole another 11 ready to go.
No, but you've got another 11, but João Felix is never competing with, is never on the same level as Cole Palmer. And that's what I mean. Like, when Man City was at firing at their highest, it would be like, De Bruyne, okay, cool, he's not there. But actually, Foden can drop in. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Bernardo Silva can drop in. All right, cool. You know, you haven't got Ruben Diaz. You've got John Stones. It's cool. You know what? You got Ake. You got Guardiola. You got all these players that can kind of do basically the same level and the same job and these kind of things. And now Arsenal have players that are, so as an example, right? I'm not staying on this too long, but as an example, Timber, excellent player, but he's only played prior to this season 1 game in the Prem.
Yeah.
Right? So he's not experienced. He's not experienced in the Prem. So
Great player.
We're bringing a great player in, but he still needs to adapt to the Prem. Calafiori, he's looked good. He's injured, right? And we've got players that were meant to replace the Kyrgios and the Zinchenko of this world, but you know what? They got injured, or they're not quite fit. And in fact, what made it even worse is Zinchenko got injured, and Tomiyasu got injured. So we were really reshuffling all the time, right? So
sorry, yeah, go on. I'll let you learn. Apologies.
Where we're at as a team, we are. I think we've done okay, but the problem is okay isn't good enough in the Prem, right? When you've got people like Liverpool at the moment who are, you know, flying, and then you've got teams like Brighton, Newcastle, even Chelsea, they're picking up form, they're picking up points. Man United have got a resurgence. They've won, 2 of their last 3?
Yeah.
In the Prem?
Yeah,
right.
And drew with us, or drew at Chelsea.
Exactly. So you've got all these teams now chasing you. You can't afford to drop points. And that's where Arsenal are going to have a problem. Can't afford it.
No. Well, City seem to be absolutely falling apart. There's some kind of, I don't know what's going on there. I don't think it's fair I don't think it's a good enough excuse to just blame it on the fact that they don't have Rodri in the centre to actually, or to orchestrate everything.
No, they're just weaker than they were. It's been coming for a while, in my opinion. It really has, because I looked at their starting 11 the other day and I said to myself, there's nothing scary about that team at all. Their best player recently has been Savinho, who's just come in.
He got injured, didn't he?
And there we go. It's just they got Haaland up top. De Bruyne hasn't been fit. Rodri's gone. The Kyle Walker is miles off the level at the moment. Like, their whole team is just not there. Like, too many of their key players are over 30. They're getting on a bit. And it's just, I kind of saw it coming, but you don't want to predict that with City because you know that they can just win the rest of the games of the season. But they do look a bit weak. They do look weak.
I think, like you were saying, they're kind of at that rebuild time where they need to freshen up again. Because, like you say, a lot of their main players are getting on now. The Bruyne,
they're running out of fizz. But I think that happened when, you know, like similar to what happened when Fabinho, Henderson, Firmino lost a yard of pace, and it was all happened all at the same time. Then it all happened at the same time, and it was just like, ooh.
And I think City was kind of banking on Foden being
coming
that guy
through,
right
stepping
now.
up.
Yeah, and he hasn't.
He needs the players around him to allow him to thrive. He just doesn't have it at the moment.
But the thing is,
big players are injured.
But the thing is, right, and this is like, we can go into the internationals about this because we spent the whole Euros focusing on how can we make Phil Foden thrive, how can we make him thrive, right? But is it but But why are we
Don't get me
spending
started on that.
time to accommodate one person, right? And this is where, like, we can really just spend all our time focusing on one person when realistically you have to trust your squad. Like England have
Absolutely.
loads of good
Definitely.
players, right? They had players like Cole Palmer who was in form. Why didn't he just replace Phil Foden? Why didn't he do that? Why didn't Watkins replace Harry Kane when he was getting fuck all from the games? Apologies for my French, my German, right? But
I
the
didn't
main
even know you were bilingual.
Mm.
So
Si, senor. Si, senor. So,
yeah, okay.
Guten Tag. Yeah. So, we can't just keep like. I think it's an excuse to say that we need to find a system that suits Foden, because there's players that will just do what they need to do. Like, it's not like, yes, you can
Yeah. But
maximize
to be
a player from the
to
system.
be fair, yeah, the ability that Foden has, he should be able to adapt. Like, there's loads of players that can adapt to, like, as we
With less
already know, he can
ability.
adapt.
With less
He can,
ability.
yeah, but he can adapt to any of them positions in the front three. So if you can adapt to that, you must be able to, you get me, play
Yeah.
in different
Yeah.
systems.
Yeah.
I've heard so much about how much ability he has got, how he could be one of England's best players, but it doesn't matter having all that ability if you can't be consistent with it.
Yeah,
It happens
consistency is
some.
the key.
Bro, it's so key, bro. I don't even know. I don't. And I think what's happened is, I think that obviously, like I said, there's no excuse with the situation that happened with Rodri, but I feel like City don't feel like they've got that talisman, that person to kind of fall back on. If you get what I'm saying, they just look, and they've lost 4 games in a row.
Unheard of. And they lost the Sporting
Could
Liverpool.
lose another.
No,
Has Pep ever lost
that's
4
the first
games
Who
in
they
a
got
row as a
next?
manager?
Now, that's the first time Pep has lost 4 in a row in his career, right? In his
That's
whole
mad.
career, right? And that is crazy because some of the games you were expecting them to win, right?
Yeah.
You were expecting them to win. You thought, okay, cool, yeah, they're tough,
Man
they'll win.
said some, all of them. Who
Should
did
have
you
run off.
expect City to not? Bro,
Yeah.
all of them.
As an example, right? Tottenham, Man City. The reason why I wasn't expecting them to win is because Tottenham always give Man
Normally
City,
bad them up.
always gives them problems, and they're home. And I'm thinking,
I
Man
heard
City's
that,
going
but
to
Spurs are Spurs, so I always expect them to be Spurs, but like, as much as I definitely agree with you, they're like City's bogey team or so, but they're still Spursy. But
they lost
and
to Spurs, and then they lost to Bournemouth, right? Which was a real shock. That was the real shock. They were 2-0
And
down
then
to them as well,
they
right?
lost
Then they lost
to
to Sporting
Sporting. They
Lisbon.
got corn.
Slap, right? What did the 5 singers say to the face? Slap. They got slapped, right? And then Brighton they lost to, and the thing is that Brighton looked convincing, right?
they was winning.
Yeah, they lost to, so 2-1, and they were winning. So they looked convincing. They slapped them. They didn't. I wouldn't say they slapped them, but they beat them. But they looked convincing. And to me, I think also what's
Second
happened.
half, I'd say, because first half City was peppering.
Yeah. But City was doing City in the first half. But what I'd also say is there's been a drop in the amount of return from Erling Haaland, which is probably connected to it, because normally he's been a get out of jail. But Man City, even though they're not really creating anything, he just does something and they score, right?
He's missed some big chances recently.
Exactly.
Even in the Sporting game, it was 1-1, I believe, or maybe 2-1 to Sporting. He gets a penalty, he misses. They go on to lose 4-1.
Exactly.
There's a few.
Yeah. And guess who Man City's next game is? They played them and lost to them already.
What they put? Who? Bournemouth.
Tottenham. They're
no.
playing Tottenham. So
Oh,
that game they
that's
lost
the
to
first
Tottenham.
game back after the break.
After the
Yeah,
international break.
Yep,
Okay.
against Tottenham. So they lost to them in the EFL, but Tottenham, they got them at home. So Man City at home, and they got them at 5:30 kickoff on the Saturday. So that's going to be interesting. And then they got a Champions League, and guess who they got after that?
Bad
Arsenal.
man,
So
reggae
they got you
champion.
guys.
They got Liverpool. They got Liverpool after that. 1st
Oh,
of
they got
December.
you guys. Okay.
They got Liverpool.
How you feeling
And
about that one, Jamesini?
I think that the game is gonna be. I'm hoping it's like a proper battle, like gritty, everything all on, like how I wanted the Arsenal Chelsea game to be. You get what I'm saying? Like I want it to be like that. I want it to be good for the neutrals. Obviously, it's my team, and I want us to win. But I just want us to, especially the fact that they don't have Rodri. I'd love for us to be able to
Take
smack them,
advantage.
take advantage of
no,
it, and bad them up. I would really like that. But that's how I feel. The reality, the reality of it might be something completely different. Because no matter what,
Yeah.
as many as City have lost currently, Pep is still one. He's still the best manager in the league. So we can't take anything away from him. He's probably been thinking about that game more than anything, because I think if he loses that game, it's going to be very difficult to come back.
and I agree. I
Yeah.
think it's a terrible time to play Man City. I think it's a terrible time because, do you know what? I think Man City, with their back against the wall, they normally come up front. They normally come back. They normally just bang 15 games in a row. They win, and that's their turnaround of this season. They don't normally have to do it at this point of the season, but doing it now is very difficult. So I would say that it's a difficult time to play against them, not because of their personnel, but because they're saying stuff like, "Okay, I dare you to doubt us," and stuff like that. And then obviously you got the international break, which we'll go on to now. And that gives a lot of teams their time to kind of recoup. And what we have seen is a trend, all right? We've seen a trend of players not showing up international duty, saying that they're unfit. Tiny, I think you had some stats around that, or some information
Yeah,
about.
I got all of their names from our clubs and Man City as well. So
Leave
we've got.
United till last.
Well, don't worry about United. Yeah, no one in.
Yeah. United players. I was about to say United players are getting called up for international.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Sorry,
We got
my
a few
bad.
call ups. Don't worry. We got call ups. We got some
Okay,
ballers
cool.
in there.
Yeah. Okay.
But Man City, Nunes, Grealish, Foden, Akanji, and Doku were all recalled. Trent Alexander from Liverpool. Chelsea, Cole Palmer, Levi Colwell, Fofana, and Gusto.
Right.
And Arsenal, Declan Rice, Saka, and Odegaard. Obviously, Ben White is injured.
Yeah, he's had an
Well,
operation.
had the operation, and
He doesn't fancy it.
yeah, but a lot of players have been withdrawn from the international duties. I think we was talking about this before on another pod about the amount of games that everyone's playing. I think this was kind of inevitable in terms of there's so many, like the Champions League's got more games than the league. Europa League's got so many games as well. Like it's gonna be difficult for the players, and on top of the actual games, the traveling is a lot. It takes its toll. You get me?
Yeah. So what would you? How many of those players would you say actually are injured, and who are just reserving?
Genuinely.
Yeah.
I think they just do like they go super, not even super cautious. It's like not wanting to go out because you got no money, and then someone goes to you, "Oh yeah, but like we should probably just chill out," and you go, "Yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's chill out, guys, man. Yeah, man. I think we should just go next time," knowing that you had no money in your pocket. You get what I'm saying? You're using that as an excuse, but you knew you didn't want to go. You knew that. That was the main thing in the
No
first place.
rounds. Man, they have no rounds.
Get me? There was no, yeah.
You're
You get
right.
it? Yeah. So now they're just
That's
using
never
that as
happened
an
to me.
excuse.
Wait, I was gonna turn up as well. I was gonna turn up. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
I was gonna, but you know what? I think that's a good idea, my brother. That was a good
yeah,
suggestion.
yeah. Like, yeah, I was looking out for you still by not going out. Yeah, yeah. No, I think
That's what it's like. They genuinely use that as an excuse, but really and truly, they might have the smallest of niggles or whatever. The managers, the managers don't want them to go either, so they have those conversations where they say to them, "Look, I'd rather you not go." Like think about Pep Guardiola, for example. His team's just lost 4 in a row. Why do I want my players to go and play 2 more games
and
over
they're
there?
friendly.
Two
They
more,
don't, they don't mean
yeah, and
anything.
yeah, one of them's a friendly or Nation League or whatever, and then they're like, all right, cool, and then they come back with an injury or they come back tired. And like you're saying, Man City need to up levels. They got Spurs, they got Liverpool coming soon. Why do I want my players playing 2 extra games when they don't need to?
So do you know what that reminds me? Actually, I heard something about a new manager at for Egypt, and actually that reminds me we should probably finish off talking about Man United's new managers, and they've had a couple in the last couple of weeks, but he said that he didn't need Salah because it's a friendly. He's like, I don't need Salah, I don't need to call him up. It's a friendly.
No.
Like, all right, he can just rest. Like,
He's got
I'd
immunity.
like to see that more often, to be honest, because that gives more opportunities to younger players that want to get international caps
Absolutely.
and that stuff. It brings more attention to your other players that aren't, stars, and it gives the chance for other people to rest. Like, yeah, some players might think,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I'm going to play against a rubbish team so I can get some goals and stuff. And some players are going to think, I don't care about that. I just want to rest. So that's really good man management. And talking of good man management, Man U. Now, what's been really interesting is how Man United have changed since your faithful leader has left, Mr. Ten Hag. Yeah,
Ten
so
gone.
You're happy about that?
we're all sad. I
Oh, over the moon.
So you're 10 out. You didn't want him to cook. I thought there was some cook talk.
Nah,
Before.
you're ramping now, bruv. After the
No,
last
I'm
rant that I
sorry.
had
No.
on the pod,
I'm just.
after the last rant that I had on the pod, even Kai was there, bro.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot.
Nah,
Forgive me for that. You know what it is? It's my age. Apologies.
but yeah,
No.
I'm so happy 10's gone. Oh,
Relief in it.
like, do you know what was
Look
so
at what-
crazy?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it was 10's tactics. I don't know if it was the players, because the amount of running Casemiro done the day that
Yeah,
first
after.
game, the first game, he ran more. He's
He
when you
done
do the heat
kilometers.
patch on the pitch.
The heat map,
Bro,
yeah,
he
the
done
heat
more running that day than I seen for like half the season.
map.
That's bad. I
Crazy.
reckon they set him up towards the end.
yeah, yeah.
Because
did.
look
I
at what
think it was
happened.
a bit of
I
both.
don't think they're playing for him. No, I don't think
They didn't want to
But
play for him. They
this
just think they just thought he was a donut.
But this is the problem that I kind of have with football now, because players can do this.
They
see,
couldn't
like,
do it before.
You see, like in Arsene Wenger, Alex Ferguson, they get out then, innit? You get me? You man would just be not playing, gone. You get me? But
Absolutely.
nowadays, because there's so much money invested in the players and stuff, it's easier to get rid of the manager, and that's crazy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there is, because you've got elements of media rights. You've got elements of if your player plays, your viewers go up. Like all of these factors are
Appearance
impacting financial
bonus.
income. Yeah, all these factors. So like, it's not as simple as why does this person keep playing and they're rubbish? No, they play because they're gonna get more viewers from Brazil or more viewers from here.
Yeah,
Like, which makes
definitely.
money, you know.
Shop
Or they're
more
not playing
shirts.
because they're gonna reduce the amount of viewers from here. Like, blah blah blah. So
Definitely. But hail up to Van Nistelrooy. He had
He's done good.
a nice 4 wins. Ain't had 4 wins in a row for a while.
yeah. So,
Flipping
Gotta
it.
enjoy these little
Ruben
moments,
aside,
you get me?
Ruben aside, right? Just to say Ruben hadn't been signed, he was still in talks. Would you have said to keep Ruben?
I'd say give him a trial. I wouldn't say. You see, like they got they
Zlatan does
they got a bit
try.
excited with Oli. They got a bit excited with Oli. Let's take time. You get me?
Ollie's at the wheel.
Yeah, but
Oli. The maddest thing is everyone disrespected Oli, but Oli was probably the best out of the managers that they had. They done the best.
He had the bit. Didn't I thought he
Nah,
had the
but the
best win
problem with
rate? Didn't
Oli,
he?
it was
Didn't he have
vibes,
the
bro.
best win rate?
It was vibes.
Yeah.
Like
listen, whatever it makes it
And he's a ledge.
whatever makes it work.
like I said, like Oli, I always know that he had his heart at the club. You get me? Like nothing
Oh,
he
definitely.
did was like against wanting the club to do well. Do you get me? So in terms of Oli, I can never say anything bad towards him personally, but yeah, he just wasn't ready. He just wasn't ready for Man United.
So how you feeling about the new manager coming in? What's your thoughts? What you thinking?
I'm excited for the future, but we'll see, man. I just gotta let him
Cook?
let him cook, man. Try and see what he can do with these players.
Nice.
Well,
Yeah.
the good thing
But
for you
I
is the good thing is his next match to coach is Ipswich.
Nah, that's not even good though, bro. Because Ipswich
Why?
is one
That's
of them
bad. They're
teams.
gonna go ham.
Nah, man, that's a brilliant game. Like the worst thing is it will be your next match to be Man City and Man City win.
I hear
lost
you.
your
The
rival
thing,
straight away.
it is, and it isn't. But yeah, I hear you.
I prefer that. And then your game after that is Bodo Glint, and then the game after that is Everton. So you've got a decent run for him to kind of adjust to the team, understand how he wants his team to play, etc., etc.
Who did Ipswich just beat?
Spurs.
Is it Tottenham?
Spurs.
Yeah,
Tottenham.
Spurs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that could have happened.
winning
That could have
in
been
about
anybody.
30
That
years,
could have
bro.
been a Greenford Celtic. They could have beat Spurs. So it's just one of those. Anything could happen. It could have been anyone. Yeah. Could have been anyone.
Yeah,
So
but I'm
United,
happy. I'm happy to see Sporting beat up City as well. That's another bonus. And yeah, just see what you can do with this bunch of players, because I just don't know about these players at Man United, bro. They can be amazing at sometimes, but then there's other times I'm just like, I don't know, man.
I don't know if the players are to be questioned. I don't even think it was that. I genuinely think they just was not feeling Ten Hag.
Nah, but how many managers
Ten
has this
Hag
been?
does.
This has been going on for a while now.
Well, yeah, but it hasn't been the same team, no.
But there's a lot of the players that Ten only recently he got rid of like the bulk of them, innit? But on the whole, it was like the same players doing the same things over and over. And so yeah, hopefully things change now, innit?
Okay.
Tiny, what do you think about this? What do you think about playing 3 at the back? Because he's been a manager that notoriously plays 3 at the back.
I don't mind it.
Do you think that
I don't mind
suits
it.
that suits United?
At the moment, losing doesn't suit us, bro.
Fair enough.
So if playing three defenders at the back is gonna create wins, let's go. I need the winning days back, car. I can't be watching my team struggling with Southampton's and Everton and them teams there, bro.
Mhm.
And then
Talking about
it's
winning.
crazy.
Yeah, go on.
It's crazy because we'll play against Arsenal and get a draw, play against Chelsea and get a draw. But how we getting slapped up by Bournemouth? It don't make sense.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say talking about winning and losers. I was gonna say that kind of gets us to kind of run into this
My
section.
win,
right?
my winners, Man United. I get to say it one
Fair,
more time. I
fair.
don't know how many times I'm gonna say it this season, but I get to say it one more time. Van Nistelrooy, you get me? Manners and respect, all of them thing there, yeah. And
He's
losers,
good, but he's cutting it. Did he cut? He's cutting it.
yeah, fully gone. But
Yeah.
losers, I definitely might not get to say this again. Man City.
I would be in agreement with that. So yeah, that's mad. When are we gonna get to that? What could we say that like to say that was even a possibility? How high is the probability of being able to say that Man City would be that we're gonna say that as losers in winners
Man.
in the winners and losers section? Does anybody think it's gonna happen again?
It can. I'm not being funny.
course
They're
it can.
still second.
I think it
They're
can.
still second.
Yeah, they're still second,
No.
but lost 4 games collectively is my point. So is it?
Four
Can
in a
they?
row, yeah.
Do you think they're gonna capitulate? Do you think they're gonna just whatever, or are they gonna bounce back?
I think
Yeah,
they'll bounce
no,
back.
that'll be
Okay.
fine. They just need
All
their.
right.
I think they need their important players back. They need De Bruyne back properly. Obviously, they're
It's
not going to
done.
get
De Bruyne
Rodri
done.
back. Yeah, De Bruyne's been getting injured for years now. Like,
And he's
they know
getting
what that
chubby.
is.
And he's getting chubby. And he's getting chubby. Let's allow it now. So you get what I'm saying? When I noticed it was about 2 seasons ago. I said, "Rare, man looks a bit like go on."
like he's doing the Hazard, didn't it? Get put on
I was
weight for the
like,
Yeah.
season.
man looks like he's
No.
put on some pounds.
We don't speak on the king's name like that.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, with that being said, who are your winners and losers for last week, huh?
My winners of the week go to Liverpool because it couldn't really get much better for them. It really couldn't. It's like if they had mapped it out and said, "What do we need from this weekend?" Every single thing went in their favor. They won.
And the week before.
Man City lost. Arsenal and Chelsea dropped points because they played each other and drew. So everyone that was chasing them, even though it's quite a big gap, dropped points and they won. So, boy, I think that's it. I think that's that.
Yeah.
And your losers?
JR, what do you think, my bro? Who are you? Oh no, did you say your losers, Kai?
My losers is it has to go to Tottenham Hotspur. They lost at home to Ipswich.
Yeah.
And they keep doing this high line business and all of that. And they're this Ange guy with this whole always winning my 3rd season and all of this. It's just they're too temperamental and it looks messy. It looks real clumsy.
What's he called? Ange don't have a clue or something. It's so stupid. Oh, he's too much, bro.
That's it.
But
That's it.
Yeah, but so JR, who are your winners and losers, King?
On my losers are losers that I've mentioned multiple times.
Yeah.
And it's Crystal Palace. They're still
Ooh.
oh my days, they're losers. Like
scary. Like their losers, they ain't even sacked their manager yet. Like losers, like you're still holding on to this guy, and they're just
Still
doing
losing.
terrible.
It's like my hair, isn't it?
They're just terrible now. They
Just
just
holding on.
yeah. Like it's
Just
crazy.
holding
Like
on.
you know, like Crystal Palace have won one game this season, right? Ipswich are ahead of them, right? Ipswich, like, man, they're losers anyway. Who would I say the winners? My winners would be Brighton. Brighton for what they did against Man City.
Definitely.
The reason why I want them to be the winners is because what they have done is they've shown that, you know, not to be scared at Man City. They have made them feel terrible going into the international break, which is amazing. Like I just love that. And I love, you know, how it's humbled them, especially being an Arsenal fan. Like it's fantastic. And I think as well, like, it's made it more interesting. It's made it like, okay, the machine can be beaten. So that is not only a loss, but it's 2 Premier League games in a row, right? It's 4 in a row in all competitions, but 2 Prem games in a row. Like normally, if they lose, they bounce back, and they haven't bounced back, which is fantastic. So Brighton, I'd say that. And also they got a player that actually I would love to replace Thomas Partey, Belieber, who I think is a baller. I don't know how they keep finding these players, but yeah.
Boy, their recruiting system is off the chain.
Ridiculous. I don't even know how they do it. They just keep picking up these players and like they'll get them for 10 million, and soon they play 2 games and like, no, this person's worth 60 million. Like how?
And they still got Danny Welbeck up front, bagging.
On smoke.
Still playing Lallana.
We got man like Danny Welbeck.
Welbeck age like fine wine, blood. This guy has got better with age, bro.
Yeah, I mean, bro, it's crazy. So
And he still looks the same age.
yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. So what have you said your winners and losers, Trimzini?
No. Losers for me, definitely Man City. And it is, Kai made a very good point. They're still second.
They're still second.
That is so wild. That is beyond.
No, but they only lost 2 games in the league. The other 2 games were cups, innit?
Yeah, I get that, but it's still 2 games. Anybody else loses 2? If Arsenal lose 2 games, where do they reach? Like if they lose another 2 games from here, sorry, JR, but yeah, because you lost a couple still. But if you was to lose another 2 games, it's brown bread. City lost 2 games. Even if City would to lose another 2 games, huh?
It's their first 2.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
So because first of all, like in the top 6, right? Every team has lost 2. They've got exactly the same standing. Liverpool have top 6, right? You've got Liverpool and Man City who are different, but Chelsea, Arsenal, Nottingham, Brighton are the same. Like they're the same. They've won 11. Like I don't know, 1-11. They've won 5.
All City did was lose their leverage.
Yeah, they lost their leverage. They've won 5. They've drawn 2, and they've drawn 4 and lost 2. That's exactly the same for Chelsea, Arsenal, Nottingham Forest, and Brighton. It's the same. But Man City had won 7, drawn 2, and now they've lost 2. Because before that, they were on form. Because if they'd won their 2, there'd be 9 points. There'd be 6 points better off, and it would mean that they would be ahead of Liverpool. But they've lost that leverage, and they're behind.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But they're ahead of Arsenal.
No, but because they were so far ahead, ahead anyway.
They're still ahead of Arsenal. Still ahead of Arsenal.
Them 2 losses just let
I feel like they're not
the,
ahead of
the
everyone
power
else.
catch up.
Liverpool, what are you talking about?
Yeah, but it was meant to be between Arsenal and City to win the league, and
Yeah,
they're ahead of Arsenal.
it
So
was.
Oh, I forgot the league.
All these challenges, you know.
I
All these
forgot.
challenges, and my goalie's got the most clean sheets.
So is your goalie rubbish or not? Because the way you were talking about him before,
I told you already. Should I say it again?
I'm not gonna
Should I
say
say it one more time?
you don't like a certain type of goalkeeper, and I'm not gonna say
That's
what
right.
type. Yeah,
Oh my
And
God!
and yeah,
Yeah.
my goalkeeper's dodgy, bruv. You've seen this. I've watched this guy for the whole season last
No,
season.
no, no,
How
no,
you gonna
no,
tell
no,
me
no.
different
We
now?
want to talk about dodgy goalkeepers. Don't look no further. Don't look no further. Don't even get me
Man,
started.
my goalkeeper's on a good run at the moment, yeah, and I'll enjoy it while it lasts.
a secure formation, a secure defense. He don't look like that no more, and that's what I said before. I said it's hard to judge Onana when he's got Maguire in front of him and you diss him. He's got this person, Johnny Evans. He's got that
Bro,
person.
the guy
Let
goes
him
in
be in
centre
the-
midfield. Why
What's
are
that?
you in
Hold
centre
on.
midfield? You're a goalkeeper.
Wait. But hold on a minute. Wouldn't Raya be questionable if he had the same defenders in front of him?
What do you mean?
Forget Rayo anyway,
No,
man.
that's
No
what
one
I'm
don't
saying.
care about that guy.
All
No,
I'm saying, my rubbish.
We were talking about Onana.
But what I'm saying is that any goalkeeper with that defense in front of them, like Trimzini was saying,
So you're saying my defense is good?
what's that?
So you're saying my defense is good?
Now it's good. If you conceded a goal, is that just because of Onar? No, your defense is shored up. Your defensive structure from back to front means you concede less opportunities. So that means he has to make less actions as a goalkeeper. Any goalkeeper,
Yeah, he had the highest saves last season.
yeah,
Yeah.
Man.
to make loads of actions as a goalkeeper, you will concede loads of goals. That's as simple as that. Like,
So like back to
Raya won Golden Glove, right? But our defense between Declan Rice, Partey, Saliba, and Gabriel meant he conceded barely any shots, bro.
so you answered my question, yeah? Because my defense is better. My goalkeeper is still the same dodgy guy that he was last season, blood. Yeah.
But at the start of the season, he conceded goals. But in your last 4 games, he hasn't. So what's happened? It's the same players.
10's gone.
So
He was a part of it, though.
it must have been something that
You're definitely a part of it.
Opposition, maybe.
Let me say my winners, man.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you not said your winners yet?
No, well, it's obvious anyway. It's obvious who I'm gonna say is my winners. Obviously,
Man United, isn't it?
Wolves. He's gonna say
it's
Wolves.
definitely not
Chelsea.
Man United.
Pedro Neto.
Who?
Pedro.
Yeah, nah, none of the
Garnacho.
above. It's gotta be Brentford. No, man, Liverpool, man.
Who?
I'm very, very proud. I'm very happy on my team. I think we just slowly chug along, take it nice and slow. Don't rush. You get what I'm saying? And just keep on going and just see what happens. Arne Slot, definitely a winner. I think he's now been so far
Already.
Liverpool's most successful. As far as starts, he's had the most successful starts as a Liverpool manager. So we'll see how it goes. Let's see what happens by the new year, because no matter what, City could pull out some bullshit. Or you get what I'm saying? In the next couple of games, Liverpool might feel under pressure. Slot might not be able to wave his magic wand, because what he does, he looks at what's going on in the first half and then applies whatever he's noticed in the second half. He might not be able to keep on doing that. So, but for today and where I'm at right now, Liverpool, yeah, they're my winners. So very happy with that. Can't lie. Mine.
And that's a brilliant end to the show.
Absolutely.
And perfectly 1 hour. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who's watching this, wherever you are in the world. like buenos dias, noches, guten tag, bonjour. You know
Injunzigun Vibita.
what he said.
Bye.
Okay. All right, and thank you and goodbye.
Please
Don't
remember, so I wanted to big up Full Time Sports Network, big up Colm and the lads behind the scenes. Not only that, but please make sure you press the like button and subscribe and share our
Yeah.
boat.
Yes.
Don't trip.
Big up. And don't trip on the way out. And don't worry about that guy, Neto.
What about Neto? On form.
What happened? Sorry, the
Premier League. That is fantastic form.
Come on, what a guy.
Don't trip.
serious guy. Bear with me 1 second. Oh my days.
Better than Martinelli.
What's that?
Who?
That's fine. I will agree with you on that.
Theo Martinelli. He had a good game last game though.
Don't say Theo Martin. Don't disrespect Theo Walcott like that.
35 double dash
When Theo was his age.
Boom, boom, boom.
We're still live.
And out.